New Year, same as. It's VGC the Video Game Podcast, episode 153, with me, Jordan Midler, and Chris Scullion. This week, what we played over the festive break and the year ahead. But first, how you doing, Chris Scullion? I love this t-shirt. I got a slight spoiler of this when you showed me it on WhatsApp, and it is on my list to order. But for audio listeners, describe what you're currently wearing.
I'm wearing a sweatshirt showing an image of professional wrestler CM Punk.
Phil Brooks, they cry him.
Oh, that's the one, Mr. Brooks, wearing a Celtic shirt with the slogan CM Punk written in the style of the C.R. Smith sponsor that Celtic used to have back in the day. I'm sure it's breaking numerous copyright infringements, but hey, sue me, grok.
WWE can do their very best to get money out of Celtic, but I think they will struggle at this point because apparently we're penniless, potless, shiftless bastards. So I hear we're linked
Famously
to some dodgy right back who currently is getting bombed out of Bournemouth, and the current manager of, at the time of recording, the current manager of Celtic has links to him via the MLS, but The good ship MON cancelled a public appearance. Did you see this? He cancelled an appearance at a bar.
I saw that. I'm not getting my hopes up.
Neither am I. I think that was to avoid the inevitable 40 million questions about, are you going to come back? Are you going to save us from this shit show? But you may have noticed we're down one. We will be back to the full complement next week. Andy is he's still on the old Johnny knock me down for New Year's Eve. So in that vein, we were going to do the answers to our yes or no from last year and set up the new yes or no for this year. But we will do that when we are all together next week. Speaking of the old Johnny knock me down, I know you don't partake, but did you get up to much New Year's Eve?
I'll tell you what, I bought a juicer.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
which is a game changer. So sometimes when I'm feeling frivolous, I'll cut up a lemon, pour a can of Coke into a glass, cut up a wee lemon, put it in, like they do in the fancy bars.
Yeah, like they do in Tom Cruise's Cocktail.
They do that bit in Cocktail when he gets a can of Coke, he cuts up a wee Asda lemon.
He goes like that and shakes it above his head, and then he opens it, explodes in the lass's face.
All over his face, and he's like, "That's not the first time I've exploded," etc. But I got a wee juicer, which essentially means I take half of my lemon, get a wee squeeze, and just pour it in with the rest of it. It's an absolute literal game changer.
Oh, so it's like a little practical job there. It's not when you said juicer, I thought you meant you got one of these like things where you put loads of fruit in it and it like pulverizes it into a little fine juice, because
that'd be like cracking a peanut with a sledgehammer. It's unnecessary for the task I've got for it.
I don't think you think I want a glass of Coke in about 25 minutes, so I'm going to start getting on with this juicing process now and absolutely wreck my kitchen.
Louise bought a coffee machine. I don't understand it because I don't drink coffee, so I don't understand it anyway. But it's one of these ones where before I would make her a coffee, it was like put the kettle on, put the coffee in, pour the water in, job done. Now it's like you've got to rinse out the glass cup thing, put in a wee pod, empty the pods every now and then, like make sure it's got water in it, and it makes a big rattling noise, and it's like this is buzz. I'm sure it tastes better, but
yeah,
I don't care.
Like I'm certainly not jealous of the type of people that are into coffee, because it seems like a rabbit hole you could really get down. Like if there was an energy juice equivalent, I would certainly look into it, but I see that a lot. And it's the price of them's absolutely ridiculous. Like I'll talk about this in a minute, but I got an air fryer for my Christmas, and it was of the Ninja variety. And since I bought that, all my TikTok shop ads are just the other Ninja complement of useless electronics. So it's your Ninja ice cream maker, which looks amazing for the one time a year you use it. It's about £300. Your Ninja slushy maker, which I would make some amazing energy drink slushies, but again, that's what you get used to that in June and July, then it's in the cupboard. Yeah. That's a couple of £100. Then the coffee maker came up, and it's always, the conceit of these TikToks is always, oh my God, guys, I spent X amount of money on this thing. I'm so raging. If you look on the link below that I get an affiliate deal from, it's actually much cheaper. And this woman was like, oh my God, guys, here's the Ninja coffee maker. And I was expecting her to go, oh, I got this for £200 and it's £100. And she goes, I got mine for £600 and it's only 550. And I was like, what are you talking about? How much coffee do you need to be drinking for that to be a break-even situation?
I don't care if you've got a coffee plant in your back garden, and you've got a guy hired to crop it or whatever it is to do, harvest it every few weeks. I don't. I mean, I'm ignorant to the world of coffee, so I don't even know if there's much of a difference in taste between like pouring your hot water into coffee granules and using a coffee machine. I'm sure there is. I'm being very ignorant here, but to me, it's like the sommeliers who make a big deal of wine.
There is a few TikTokers that do like barista championships where they go all over the world and like pour the perfect, they like get an order and they have to pour this perfect coffee, and I'm like, okay, there's something for everyone, I suppose. But the thing I got from we'll do New Year's first. We're working in reverse logical order. On New Year's Eve I went to my pal Hannah and Caitlin's, and we've done New Year's at theirs for about a decade now because I simply refuse to go out on New Year's Eve. The idea of going to somewhere in Glasgow or Paisley, being there is like the worst idea in the world. Is the getting back after the bells, because for me it's like, okay, 5 minutes after the bells I want to be home. So instead we stayed in, and we this year we decided to print out a songbook with lyrics from various musicals, split up between the three of us, and we basically just sang musical songs until about 11:45, and we went, oh shit, we better put the BBC on. It was excellent. It felt like we were in 70s New York, pre Times Square, in our ratty little apartment, passing the time with no heat and no running water, instead of being in Hannah and Caitlin's parents' palatial house. It's like 5 times the size of any house I've ever lived in. But it was good fun. The New Year's Eve entertainment itself, did you catch any of the BBC's? Are you at the age where you kayfabe it for the wee one? Because I had a couple of pals that kayfabed it, but
see, I genuinely enjoy the Scottishness of it. Like the bits. I miss Ali Bain, the guy who used to
Phil and Ali, I know.
For those who don't know, that every Hogmanay, which I saw people asking, or non-Brits in the Discord asking about it. Hogmanay is essentially what Scottish people call New Year. And for the longest time they had Phil and Ali who would like play traditional Scots fiddle music. Your diddly-dees. And that would take you up to New Year, and then they do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and then there's your thing. But they retired a few years back, so it's like modern folk music now, like usually like a lassie's in her 20s or something, like accompanied by fiddles and the like. It's just not the same. And it's like I quite like it. I don't like the TV as much as it used to be. Like the death of Only an Excuse was a tragedy. To
be fair, Only an Excuse was terrible at the end of it. Yeah.
But even a shite Only Excuse at the end of it, you could say that was shite, and you could bond when you're in the agreement of how shite it was. Now it's just like
it's weird because like the Hogmanay telly in the age when linear television was the thing that people all sat around and watched, you would get an Only an Excuse and you would get a still game. Like you would get big, proper, like massive comedies on at New Year, whereas this year they had Queen of the New Year, which was a sketch show from Rab Florence and Greg Hemphill that I watched the next day when I was around at my mum and dad's, and it was like 2 or 3 of the jokes were okay. Like I thought it was
fine. Chris Toll was good in it. The sketches featuring Chris Toll were funny, but it's generally just all these sketch things are always been hit and miss. Like Chewing the Fat was a greater, and Burniston were a greater hit ratio than miss ratio.
Yeah. But you forget all the shite in both of them. There's plenty of them that die a death. Like
definitely. And when it's a one-off, you can't establish characters.
Yeah.
So like a Chewing the Fat, or a Chewing the Fat, or like a Fast Show or something like that. You over the series, you go, oh, I know what's coming here. He's going to say this. He's going to say that. You get the catchphrases. But when you've only got a half-hour show and you have to reset every year, it doesn't really.
Like in Chewing the Fat, you see the banter, and you're immediately like, okay, I know where I am, I know what jokes to expect here. But yeah, it was a weird one. I thought it was okay. It's kind of strange that the BBC doesn't put more into stuff like that, in my opinion. Like I think there's a lot of interesting, cool young Scottish comics that could be doing things. Like, I mean, they would never do this, but Here Comes the Guillotine, Hogmanay special. It's just the three of them sitting around, absolutely, or do it in the style of, do it in the style of Markham and Wise, I suppose. Queen of the New Year tried to do that with a bit of the old like performance thing. It was nice to see Karen Dunbar doing Almost Angelic again with Big Tom. That was funny.
Funny you say Guillotine, like after the bells, and we're sitting watching, like flicking between Jules Holland, who just infuriates me to know.
Ladies and gentlemen, right.
Here comes it's Heather Spell from the M-Paper.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie Wood. And then Ronnie Wood shuffles out his corpse and goes.
It basically becomes a game of who's in the audience. Is that Amelia de Moldenberg? I think it is. It looks a wee bit like her.
Oh, Jim Moyle's there. Jim Moyle's always fucking there. He's never away
Steaming
from
it as gourd. But so after a while, my dad's like, "There's no stand up or anything on," because one year, like they put one of the channels put Kevin Bridges on. Like, I said, "I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put Christopher MacArthur Boyd's." Was it Scary Times?
Yeah.
His latest his YouTube special put that on. My parents thoroughly enjoyed it. So we started the new year with a bit of CMB. That's like
CMB howling at the moon. Tickets on sale now. Touring next year. We'll be going to see that.
It was also interestingly, there's always a debate over the Hogmanay show, whether it's live or pre-recorded. And you're always like, of course it's pre-recorded. But they try and sell you the dummy. They go, oh, now we're going to Edinburgh Castle. And then they cut to live and Des Clark standing in Princess Street and there's people there and the fireworks. And you go, right, okay, it must be live then, because it then cuts back to the studio. And everyone's going, hey, old lang syne. I checked my phone right after it. And it's like, Bobby the barman from Still Game rushed to hospital like earlier in the evening. I was like, well, that's funny because it was just on the telly 2 minutes ago. I was like, well, you've been caught, Bobby.
Gavin Mitchell, Bobby the barman. Here's my thought. So they usually, from my memory of my BBC days, they usually do the Hogmanay stuff on like the 10th of December because it's all just in the little. It's on one of the kind of basement studios. Also, a lot of Queen of the New Year was filmed at the BBC at Pacific Quay. But my thought was, had, God forbid, Bobby the Barman carked it, and that all came out, because that stuff came out the day of the show. Because in my football group chat, they were sending that in as well. I think, what did they do in that occasion? Because he was key in the frame and all the big scenes of all the big Happy New Year and all the 10-9-8 and kind of things. I wondered if they would have just done a in loving memory like placard at the start and then get on with it.
But then they have to give it away. Then they have to
of course.
And they have to reveal, actually, this wasn't live. We've lied to you. So I don't know if they cancel it for technical reasons, and it's just because
the weather's terrible. We can't do it. It's like Edinburgh last year.
They got away with it. They had a documentary about the history of Stanley Baxter, the life of Stanley Baxter, on 10 o'clock. I believe it was on 10 to 11, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and it was meant to be just celebrating him before he turned 100. But then he died on like the 10th of December or 11th of December. So they just basically slipped in a wee thing at the start saying this was meant to be celebrating him, and now it's like remembering
he carked it.
And then it's just the normal documentary as it was meant to be anyway. It's like all these things where they say he is good, just pretend to say he was good, because like
the BBC did that with Prince Philip a few years ago as well. They were recording a thing for his for I think it was for his 100th birthday, and then he carked it. Not before time. I mean, how many Land Rovers can you put on the roof?
Not before time.
Before you shuffle back off to your demonic spawn lair.
I'll tell you a very, 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 very niche complaint I have about New Year now. So we do our first foot routine where we go to the front door and knock the door and come in and say, oh, hello. Happy New Year, as if I've not been sitting with my family for the last 5 hours anyway. Come in, oh, hello, and shake the hand, give them a bottle of Iron Brew and all that shit. And then I run in to see the Edinburgh fireworks to see what they've done this year. BBC always plays the same. They've got this montage of Scottish music, but played in a kind of plinky plonk piano or like kind of orchestra style. Like so, it's like Lewis Capaldi and what's her face, Rita Ora and all that. They're kind of a montage of their music to the fireworks. But then you see the actual footage of it, and it was different music. It's like drum and bass, like kind of dance music and stuff. And I don't know if it's a rights issue, because I thought the BBC had rights to like all music. But for some reason they play their own music over the fireworks, and it's the same. It's been the same music for like 4 years now. and it's getting quite tiresome because it sounds exactly the same every year.
I wonder if that's a contingency issue. They're just like, we'll just do it this way because we know it works, whereas anything could happen at the Edinburgh live show. The BBC has a blanket license, I believe, for PRS stuff, so the BBC can use the Beatles for free, which I was never, ever, ever allowed to do in any of my videos. I was desperate to use the Beatles. I was like, there's no reason why we can't. Let me just do it before I leave.
Imagine you're just like, here's my review of Red Dead Redemption 2, Paperback Rider.
This is costing me nothing. That was one of the jokes in it. I was going to like play Yellow Submarine and then play Come Together and be like, this is costing me absolutely nothing. But they didn't find that meta humor funny. I was surprised that they showed so little of Edinburgh. Like, they just cut to Des and they're like, "Oh, right, there you go, shapeshifter, do your bit, and then carry on." Whereas I don't know if the Edinburgh show was streamed anywhere, but I'm pretty sure Susie was hosting it, and it was like Wet Leg that was the headliner and stuff like that. Like,
that's right.
They could have stuck that on maybe it was on the Scotland channel, if anyone remembers.
They used to do that, didn't they? Whoever was playing, whether it was Texas or usually, or
whether it was Texas or Texas,
or occasionally Wet, and then hand over to Texas. They would usually show that like from the wee stage that's in Princess Street Gardens, but they didn't really.
When's the last time you braved Edinburgh? I've never done it. It's never appealed to me.
I did it once when I was at uni, and this was either 2002 or 2003. I think it might have been 2003. It was the only time I said, okay, I'm going out. So usually I would just go back home and spend it with my mum and dad. I was like, right, finally I'm going to go out and see, do it at least once. You've got to do an Edinburgh street party at least once. Got our tickets and all that, and went to it. And like right before it started, they cancelled it because of a suspected terrorist attempt. So everyone just piled into the nearest pubs instead. Yeah. And that was when I had my only drink, when that guy gave me the double straight whiskey. Oof. And I was like, never again. That was at the stroke of midnight. So, and that was like that. Well, that's never happening again.
If they gave every 14-year-old in Scotland a double straight whiskey, it would cure the generational alcoholism problem, because
clean the streets.
It would put you right off.
So that was after that. I thought I don't have the luck for an Edinburgh street party. That was your one chance, and you fucked it.
No, we always used to do like when between the ages of like 15 to 21. I say we would do house parties, and then it just became the current tradition of sitting in with Hannah and Caitlin, party food, profiteroles, etc., and so on. Absolute nonsense. But I was on the Suntory, the 196. It was. I'm so glad that it's in the UK now. It's still piss take prices at the moment. But I seem to be the only person in my local Morrison's that's buying it, so I'm hoping that will make the prices come crashing down, and it hurts inside, brother. So
do you remember the lockdown New Year? Was there a New Year during lockdown? I can't remember if lockdown lifted before New Year.
The 20 to 21. I think that 20 to 21 might have been binned off, and then the 21 to 22.
Because I remember. One of my favourite things ever for a New Year was they did a movie. Remember the short film they did where they had drones flying over different locations in Scotland?
Oh, and
there was a poem about how nobody's allowed to see each other and all that. It was like a really well made, brought a tear to an eye. So I remember that being a weird New Year where you couldn't go and see anyone. There was like nothing. That was a strange one, but
I have a total memory blank of the lockdown era. I don't know if it was because our job didn't change. So for me, there's no this moment of like, oh, we were all sitting at the back and we were on the old furlough. It was like, well, I just remember doing the same job but with a lot of people pouring in and out of my office. So yeah, it was
it was annoying for me because Serena was really young and she didn't have her nursery. Her nursery was closed. So my parents became part of our bubble, because you had like a bubble with like two households.
All that bollocks.
For childcare, you were allowed a second household for childcare. So basically every single day I had to drive from Edinburgh to Coatbridge, so like an hour there and an hour back every single day with the entirety of lockdown. Like when I worked from their house, which was just not fun. So. I mean, it's a small thing to complain about. People do longer commutes every day nowadays, but for someone who works from home,
that would drive me absolutely up the wall. Like I cannot imagine the amount of time thievery that would go on in there, where it's like, this, I'm not getting paid for this, and I'm actually paying money into this stupid car to like it's crazy. Speaking of paying money, very briefly before we go back to the bollocks, thank you very much to patreon.com/Video Games Chronicles supporters. We smashed through our Christmas drive. I'm not going to sell you hard today because we've been selling you hard for a month. Just thank you very much. If you want loads more content, extra podcasts, etc. Patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. But yeah, on Hannah's dad came back and sat in with us, and he I was quite pissed by this point, so I can't remember the specifics, but he was like, I've got this dram here that I only opened it when his dad died, or it was given it just before his dad died, and he was like, it's £200 a bottle, shall I open it? Opens it, pulls us a wee one, and I was pissed, but I was all right. By the time that was done, I was like, I need to get to my fucking bed because this house is spinning around me. At this point, we were screaming at the Hootenanny because it was just pish by that point. The Hootenanny is really I cannot believe it still goes. It must be unbelievably cheap to make, and that's why they keep doing it. But no one's like that. Oh yes, I'm sitting down for 9 o'clock to watch the Hootenanny. I can't wait.
Did you brave Ronan Keating's alternative?
Oh no,
he had one. I didn't attempt it, but apparently he had one where a couple of members of Boyzone joined him, and apparently Louise from Eternal.
Brilliant.
Louise, whatever her surname is these days, she joined him as well. She just goes by Louise, I think.
Louise Redknapp?
Surname. Aye, was she still really Redknapp? Did they not get?
I don't know. Is this a Cheryl Cole situation where she just goes as the mononym?
I think her stage name was always Louise. I don't think she ever released a single as Louise Redknapp, or indeed Louise Nerding, her maiden name. But I don't know. But are they still together? I thought it was shenanigans.
I don't think they are, but my question is, right, I might be going crazy here. Was Louise Redknapp the lassie in the Milo demo? I've always wondered.
She looked a lot like her, but it wasn't her.
Okay, because the
only connection
between her.
The only connection Louise has with video games is she was in an issue of CVG where she was promoting Parappa the Rapper. that ideal connection. But no, she looked very much like her.
Oh, she's the absolute double her.
Aye, but I think it's just a lassie who worked there, maybe.
Yeah.
Doing testing out. But no, she's dead ringer, but it wasn't her.
Yeah. But that was the New Year's. It's this festive break has went incredibly quickly in my opinion. I was enjoying a few days of doing hee-haw, and then suddenly it was like my mum texted me being like, "Oh, you coming over on the first? Like, what we're having for dinner?" And I was like, "What do you mean the first? The first is ages away." Like no. I think because when my brain, even though I've not been in school for 13 years at this point, still so accustomed to thinking of breaks in school holiday terms, where you would break up on like the 19th and go back on the 7th or 8th or something like that, whereas now it's like, obviously we get the 2nd because we're Scottish, but like, had we been Pox the Englishman, we'd have been expected to work today, which this is no work, this is pleasure, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, it was it was good fun. My main things, we'll talk about games specifically in the second half, but my main Christmas break activity was getting to grips with this fucking air fryer I got for my Christmas. So it's a Ninja double stack, and it advertises itself on the box as being able to do 2 whole chickens at once. 2 full chickens at once. And I'm like, right, what kind of fucking power is this thing drawing that it's going to put 2 whole chickens through its paces at once? So I was like, let's not worry about that. Let's get it in. I've got a lot of TikTok recipes saved. I've been doing this for like 6 months because I was like, I'll eventually get one. And there was such a good deal on Black Friday that I was like, okay, I'll buy it, give it to my mom, and be like, that's what you got me for Christmas. I was like, yeah, that's fine. So starting off, cut up some chicken, put it in the air fryer, and they're like, okay, blast it for 20 minutes. And I put it in, and I'm just standing there listening to it whir away, and I'm like, chicken is potentially the dodgiest thing you could have started out with, because if you underdo chicken, you're putting yourself in the hospital. But I keep checking it. I'm like, it looks a bit peely-wally. And then it comes out. It's cooked perfectly. It's juicy, and it's tasty. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. Is this what these wanks have been talking about for all this time?
You become one of those air fryer wanks.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is magical. And then I just kept doing other bits and pieces in it, and it worked. I did the top and bottom, and you can sync it so that the food cooks at the same time. I'm like, why would I need a big oven at this point, apart from like pizzas or something like that? I was like, oh, this is a fucking really boring thing to get excited about. I was standing there in my kitchen, be like, I'm actual fucking crashing headlong into middle age here, but it was a really practical Christmas gift, which I'm all about. and yeah, I'm happy with it. I've just bought the little. You need to buy little sleeves for it, because if you just use it raw, which you can, it's quite a lot of cleanup. But you can buy little like silicone, like Johnny bags for it. You just put your food in there and you just clean that. So I'm going to try that. I'm worried that they'll just end up tasting like silicone. They'll taste like Wiimote Johnnies, but we'll see.
What are the nutritional implications? Like, is because I'm hearing fryer and I'm thinking deep fat fryers, which obviously it's not the same idea. Is it worse than oven cooking? I would imagine it's worse than using like a Foreman grill,
So
which famously is a lean, mean, fat grilling machine.
You know who got offered the Foreman grill first, brother? Or maybe not, dude. The air fryer is much healthier than a traditional oven. You use the 1 cow spray. You just do a tiny bit of that so it doesn't stick to it, and that's it. That's like the whole. This is part of the marketing propaganda. The agitprop for the air fryer at industrial complex is that it's really good for cooking stuff healthily. So I'm all in on it. I text a friend of the show, Tamur Hussein, to ask what he does, and he says it's a lot of chicken, a lot of sweet potato fries. They come up. That's the other sell. The shit gets really crispy, and I love crispy food. I can't deal with like limp, flaccid chicken. It has to have a little bit of crisp to it. So the idea that I can do some sweet potato fries, that may be my next mountain to climb. But yeah, it also made me think. So it's massive, obviously, and it takes up like half the kitchen counter. I was like, I want to fucking knock this house down and get a house with a bigger kitchen. But that's the cycle, isn't it? You get one new thing and then it points out an issue with something else that you have, and you keep going until you're dead. Yep. Did you get anything nice for Christmas? Anything useful?
No, I mostly just got some books and that. But again, it's the same situation where it's like I ordered them myself. And I just wrap them up for me. It gets to the point where it's like, when you've had 42 of them, it's like I still like Christmas. It's still the best time of the year, but obviously it's through the kid now. Yeah, it's more for her. So I just I fancy this. Get me that. And
also, we are two men that when we see something we like, we just buy it for ourselves.
We're very impulsive. Like Louisa's raging. Louisa's like, I don't know what to get you because you're such an idiot that as soon as you see something, you just get it before you've even told me it exists.
Because I never want to be in a situation when I send it to the partner I have access to, and then by the time she gets around to it, through no fault of her own, it's away. Like, I need to just get it and get it sorted. And me and Laura didn't even do presents because we're going to Japan in September, so we're already spending a ridiculous amount of money. So we just like knock it in the head. We did go to a few days after Christmas. We went to St Andrews, the place near Edinburgh, not the high school in Paisley. Because Laura's sister found this viral cheese toasty shack, and it's literally called like the Cheesy Toast Shack. It's on the coast of St Andrews. It is. It was jumping. First of all, we got there and there was like 50 people in front of us in the queue because their social media game is so good. And I'm like, I'm cynical at this point. I've been dying for a pish for about half an hour. Everywhere's shut because it's in the festive perineum. And I'm like, okay, I'll get a buffalo chicken toasty. Makes up half an hour. We get in the car because it's freezing. I'm so angry. I take one bite and I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch, you've got me. It was fantastic. I could not believe how nice it was, and the speed, the number at which they had to put out, and obviously it was taking quite a long time purely based on how many people were there. But it felt like if you just turned up and there was no one there, they would give you that in about 2 or 3 minutes. It was exceptional. How much do you think it was for? It's 2 bits of bread, a big load of filling.
The way you're describing it suggests it's going to be expensive, because when you say 2 bits of bread, that means you're complaining that the ingredients are minimal. So I'm going to say $3.99.
It was £7.50.
Now see, I was torn when you were describing the fact you liked it. I was happy for you that you enjoyed it, but I was also angry because just the concept enrages me. Yeah. Because it feels like there's been stuff like that in the past where you look at it and go, well, that's just fucking laziness. Like that's
just cheese on toast, mate.
That's just a shite. That's just a basic idea. The worst one was that. Do you remember there was the serial killer cafe in London, and it was a cereal cafe, and all they did was they just had loads of different boxes of cereal, and they try to sell it as if, oh, well, this is the cereal is an experience, and you can get all these cereals.
You can get a bowl of Lucky Charms for £12.
It's like a bowl of Frosties that costs you more than like my house. And then obviously it went under fairly quickly because everyone was like, chase yourself. Even in London, they were like, you're ripping the piss, mate. So I feel better about being cynical now that I hear that a toast is £7.
Yeah. It was exceptional, but yeah, it was
exceptional but unacceptable.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't pay for it. It wasn't like a review copy. It was just my partner paid for it. I think the cereal cafe was too early. It was pre the come with me to this viral London cereal cafe where you can get Lucky Charms. If that had launched now, much bigger deal, because London and New York and Japan are full of these viral hellholes that it's like, come with me to get the viral sugary grapes in Japan. And it's like, I would like to taste the sugary grapes in Japan, but I'm not waiting in like a half an hour queue for the privilege.
You've ruined it. You've ruined it by making it more popular than it needs to be.
How can we attend these things in a casual way? How can we rock it? You've got to walk past it and go, oh, I've never seen that before. What? Sugary grapes, you cry it? That's a bit surprising. I should maybe try that.
Where the society is in danger of spiraling towards an egocentric. But I can tell by like we've taken the kid to Disneyland Paris a couple of times, and I can see the difference year on year every time we go. Where the first time when she was just like a toddler and she loved it and it was just fine. And the second time she was enjoying it. The third time we went, you couldn't get a photo on the castle because right up the ramp, the pathway going right up to the castle, it was a million women like influencers doing like poses and stuff, like leaning in the castle, and like people with like photographers with them taking photos of them in front of the castle. And I'm like, this is you're in for a shock a few years down the line when you realise that your job was to.
It will swing back,
and it's going to run out.
I think that I don't think they would ever do this because the people vlogging Disney directly gives Disney money by people seeing those trips and then booking those trips. But part of me was like, I wonder if Disney would put a massive kibosh on this under the guise of like, we don't want kids being filmed kind of thing, which you could that'd be like a reasonable explanation for it. But I saw a lot of a friend of the show, Jenny Nicholson, put up a video over the Christmas break of her in Tokyo, and she went to Tokyo Disneyland, not Sea, and it was like very few people were doing this. They were like, but I mean, obviously Japanese people are much more polite than. First of all, they're fucking. It was
very different when I went this year. I saw none of that.
Yeah. Whereas when I went to Disney in LA in August with Greg and Jen and their wee one, they were like, we never have anyone to take photos of the three of us, so can you take some photos of us? And I had to essentially become like a pap where I would run ahead of them, and then as they were passing something that was iconic Disney, I would just shout at them and take a couple of photos. And every single one of those photos and any photo I have in Disney is people dotted around. See, trying to get a nice photo in front of the Millennium Falcon without 40,000 people being there, it's a nightmare. And I hate the look. I hate having Americans in my fucking pictures, man. Like, especially because like I have no real beef with Disney adults because frankly I'm a Pokemon adult, but it's the people...
I'm a Disney adult, so I get it to an extent.
I like people. I think Disney bounding is an interesting concept. I would never partake myself, but I don't want a Disney bounded Donald Duck in Batuu on the Black Spire outpost in Star Wars land. So the mix of canons there was really upsetting me. But yeah, I think we're gonna heavily swing back from the come with me. Like everything can't be viral. That's the thing. I knew it was long gone when they started advertising on TikTok. It was like, here's these viral batteries that last for ages. Like, sorry, nobody's ever went. See, since the invention of batteries have not been viral. So I think we've lost the plot here.
I hope we get to a point where. I hope there'll be a point where there's a burnout in this, and that all the kids who grew up watching influencers, because we need to wait till they grow up essentially. The kids who grew up watching influencers hopefully will grow to the point where they get their own jobs and then turn against them, because at that point they'll say, wait a fucking minute here, like, I'm now old enough to realise that I'm doing an actual shift here, and yous are just grifters. Yous are just getting money to say any old shit about products.
Yeah.
And your job is either to promote things and take money for it, or to pose and show off about how good you look. And that's your job is one of those two things. And I hope those kids grow up and eventually realise that and turn against them, and that kills the influencer culture, because until the target audience turns against it, we're kind of stuck with it because we're not the target audience.
I think it's a bit like
infuriating.
Scottish teenagers have usually done their drinking by like 18, 19, whereas American teenagers don't do it till 21, so they go mental for longer. For me, these people, the generation maybe two below mine, who are total digital natives, have grown up understanding what an influencer is, will be burnt out on it, whereas the older generations didn't have it and are trying to still ride that first wave of the money made as an influencer, which is long gone at this point. Like it's totally circling the drain. It'll go back and it'll come back again. Like all these things are cyclical, but yeah, I think I hope it's. I mean, maybe I'm a hypocrite because obviously I'm planning this September trip to Japan, and it is very helpful to have like this infinite batch of like, oh, is this place all right? Even if I don't care what that person's saying about it, like 4K footage on a phone from anywhere in the world is helpful.
That's the thing. I think there are some subsets of it which are genuinely useful. So you get YouTube videos of people who are from Japan, and you get those ones where some people are just like, let's take a trip to this.
Yeah.
And it's all first person footage. You never see them in it. And it's just subtitles. So they're not even being obnoxious. They're not talking all the way through it going, oh, how does this work? Press a button. Oh, do I press this? Is this? Oh, it's giving me a coffee.
Sumimasen.
Exactly. Hey, arigato, gozaimasu, dude. It's all first person with just small subtitles, just saying what they're doing. Oh, you have to pay this to get.
Yeah.
This is a cat cafe. You have to do this and do that, and it's quiet and it's peaceful and it's just through their eyes, and it lets you see what their experiences is, and you know that while they're filming it, when they were filming it, people weren't standing at the side saying, "Can you get out my face, please? Can you get out my way, please?"
And it's not pre-coloring your experience. Yeah,
aye. They're not being obnoxious. They're not getting in people's way. They're not making it about them. The service is genuinely look at this place that you might not have been to before. It's the ones who have never used the camera pointing away from them before. It's like it's all their face, and it opens with their face and closes with their face. It's just like I appreciate how hypocritical they are, because I did that for my Switch 2 tour. You've done
this
it.
This is how we are not crushed. We're professionals.
Exactly. That's part of our job. This is our actual job.
But that's on that. Like when we're doing personality stuff, that the idea is us, then fine about being on camera. But like all my tours at Pokemon events, I'm showing what's going on. You don't need my fucking ginormous napper in the corner like the toasty guy. No. We simply must take a break. Sorry, Pete Donaldson. When we come back, we'll chat about the games we played over the break, and probably a lot of absolute mince. Until then, we'll see you in a minute. And we are back. I came into the Christmas break with the big grand plans about playing lots of games, completing lots of games. I ended up just playing lots and lots of one game, and that was Hades 2. Now, Hades 2 is a game that in any other year I would have almost certainly reviewed, but it came in at a time where that wasn't possible. I can't remember what it was round, but I was away doing something else, and I'm really glad I ignored the part of my brain that I've had my entire career where I'm like, I can review as many games at once as possible. Like, it doesn't matter. Always say yes to a review that you're excited about because you want to do it. I've been playing this game non-stop, like every day across the Christmas break, and only now am I getting to the end of it. It is so unbelievably long, so much longer than the first game. If you remember the first game, it's a roguelike where you're getting help from Greek gods in the first game to take down Hades. Now in the second game, you're playing as Melanoi, the other daughter of Hades, taking down Kronos, who is the god of time. And it's like, okay, take down Kronos, that's the idea. And then suddenly it's like, well, if you go down into the depths of the underworld, you take down Kronos. But the halfway point twist is you can also go up the mountain of Olympus to take down like an even bigger boss. So now it splits your time between the the first run, which you thought was the big, hard, impossible run. Like the first time I beat Kronos, I was like running about the house screaming. Now I can beat Kronos without even thinking, and you're trying to beat the bigger boss. The things that Hades 2 does much better than the first one, I think, and something that will probably appeal to you because this is your number one complaint with these type of games. The progression is much better. You get to retain a lot of progression a lot more. There's this concept of like these arcana cards that influence your run. So it'll be like, okay, if you have say 10 points on this little range, and each arcana card can cost 1, 2, or 3, and you can use as many as you want as long as you're within this 10. And it'll be like, okay, this card is 5 of your points, but you've got a death defiance once per night, meaning if you die, which should be game over, you come back. And it's that kind of thing. You get resources on your run to improve your kind of home base area, which gives you better arcana cards. And it's a bit slow at the start, but once you get going, and this is why I played so much of it, it's just snowballing. Like you get so much on each individual run, and the way they dole out the gods that give you the powers and stuff like that is really cool as well. Like I got a new one last night after like the Switch 2 says 70 hours, but I don't know. I don't particularly trust how the Switch 2 counts stuff. But I was like, this is crazy. This is like so much more in depth than the first one, and you can see the bones of how it was doled out in early access. Like almost in your head, you're like, okay, I remember that these 2 bosses were in the first update, and then this must have been the next bit, and then they announced this, and then they announced this. But yeah, it's just fantastic. It's really weird to me that it's still just on PC and Switch 2, but playing it on the Switch 2 on my OLED is 120 frames a second. It looks amazing. Like in the Switch 2 Pro controller is absolutely goated with the sauce. So I'm really happy with it. For the first time, I am using the back buttons on the Switch 2 because I set one of my attacks that you usually use on A to be on the little pull button at the back. So that's actually quite good. I bet most people who have this Pro controller completely forget that those are there.
I never use those because I just, on any controller that has them, because I always hit them by mistake. I don't know if it's just the way I hold controllers. I just get kind of twitchy and twiddly when I'm sitting in loading screens and stuff, and I'll just like I'll go hit the back of the controller, and I'll always hit a button and go, oh, shit. And I never really use that.
So when I started using the DualSense Edge for EAFC, I thought like, okay, I'll use the right one for like passing or something like that, and maybe a bit quicker. But it turns out it's just like a fidget for me. So when I'm waiting, I will just hit them and like enjoy the clickety clack and then get on with it. But yeah, it's I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed playing Hades 2. Been playing a lot of WWE 2K25, but I'll talk about that in a minute. You get anything played, or was it mostly book stuff? And where are you at with that? What era are you at the moment?
It is book stuff.
RPGs, like every Final Fantasy.
To the extent that I'm not actually in next week because I took an extra week off to hammer the book, to try and catch up with it. I've got a March deadline, and I'm sure my lovely publisher John is listening. It's 60-40 as to whether I'm going to hit that March deadline.
60 Final Fantasies, 40 Dragon Quest games.
I do never in my power. It's weird. It's like when you do these things. So it's mostly I've been playing PS1 games mainly for this book, and it's weird because you get ups and downs where you go. You'll sometimes just hit a patch where it's like loads of RPGs, and those are an absolute nightmare to cover in a book because you can't just, if it's like a shoot 'em up. Something like Einhander, Square Enix shoot 'em up. That within 10 minutes you know what that is.
Yeah, you play a couple of stages and you know the job. Yeah,
because it's encyclopedia. I don't need. I'm not reviewing these games. I'm just saying this is what this game is. Anything quirky that I find about it. So you don't have to play them to completion. Just play enough to get a good screenshot, get a feel for what it is, and then move on. And then you hit like 4 RPGs in a row, and each one of those takes at least half an hour to actually get into the meat of it.
Yeah.
Especially if they've got unskippable cutscenes and shit like that, because obviously PS1 was the early FMV cutscene days, and as well, some of them let you skip. Others were like, "Hey, we put a lot of money into this fucking thing. You're going to watch it." So lots of that. So yeah, you'll hit a point where you get all the FIFAs, and those are a piece of piss. Those are like treat days because. See, when you get a sports game, I might have said this before, when you got all the FIFAs in a row, or all the Maddens, or the NBAs, the NHL games, literally the back of the box tells you what's due every year.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the entries write themselves because you say, "Oh, this year they added this, this, and this."
The players
That's
finally run like the players. If you look at Mo
players
Salah,
run like Emil Heskey finally. But
so
those are actually kind of, people say those must be the hardest ones. Those are the easiest ones because the game literally tells you what is different between everyone. But yeah, it's been pretty full on. So in terms of that, I was like you, I had a big list of things I was going to play. I was going to play Metroid, I was going to play Pokemon ZA, I was going to play this and that. I ended up, Andy said during one of the podcasts that he was going to play Donkey Kong Country, and I thought, so I've been playing Donkey Kong Country. Nice. I just thought I'll go for that, and I'll just cursing it upside down because I forget how frustrating it is at the main cat levels and stuff. But yeah, so I've nearly finished Donkey Kong Country. Basically, that's what all I've played that isn't PS1 stuff. Sadly,
I was texting you about my my trials and tribulations with WWE 2K25. I don't know why I decided that. I was like, okay, I want to get some of these Persona cards. Let me go and see how much of a pain in the arse it actually is. So I go in and it's like, okay, to get 2011 CM Punk, which sidebar, I eventually unlocked 2011 CM Punk and I was like, oh, he's got that Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. That's cool. For whatever reason, he wrestles in it, which is bizarre to me. You have to manually go in and take it off him, like set it as an entrance attire rather than an original attire. Whatever. I was like, okay. So to get that, I had to buy a load of specific cards from this set, and I was like, fuck. Thankfully, I had VC from whatever version they sent that I'd never used. So I was like, okay, I can buy the individual cards, and it unlocks it. And I'm like, okay, I've got that CM Punk. Oh, there's a TNA AJ Styles. Let me look into how to get that. And I was like, okay, you have to beat 99 overall, max rating, 3 finishers, AJ Styles on Ultimate or Legendary or whatever the highest tier is with an 89 rated John Cena with like low health. I'm like, okay, I know my way around this. It took like 12 hours to beat him. It was so frustrating. Yeah. It was basically no room for error whatsoever. If you get hit with a Styles Clash, you're done. If you get hit with the Spiral Tap, which is like super finisher, you're done. If you get put in the Calf Crusher. Thankfully, the Calf Crusher has always been animated terribly in this game and sends you so far across the ring, you always get a rope break off a Calf Crusher. But by the end of it, I knew every frame of AJ Styles' animation because it's like, okay, I need to reverse his first 2 Styles Clashes. And it doesn't, if you reverse a finisher, you didn't automatically get a finisher, you just got a bit of the bar. So I was like, okay, he's definitely going to kick out the first AA, so I need to get at least 2. And it was just nightmarish. At that point, I was like, I'm essentially having to break the AJ Styles AI. Like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything skillful here. I'm just like fighting the game. And then I eventually unlocked it, and that was quite satisfying. But my God, it's a pain in the arse.
I'm at the point where I'm okay with them because I've put like well over 100 hours in that game by now. Like there was a period where for at least the first 4 or 5 months I was playing that mode daily and like getting everything, and even then still not unlocking everything because it's like it flat out requires you to have certain cards for some things, and you basically have to get lucky and buy 1 million packs to get them, and I'm just not doing that. So I basically get what I can get. So my kid's being boisterous upstairs, so apologies if you hear background.
She's like, this AJ Styles thing was a piece of piss. What are you talking about?
She's like, Dad, what are you talking? You're talking with your pipe. But it's funny because there are some glitches, and I don't know if those glitches have been patched, but there was exploits you were able to do as of a few months ago, and one of them was like, I can't remember what the routine was because I only used it once for one thing that was really annoying me, and I've never tried it again. It's something like you Irish whip them and hit the referee. And then when they come out the Irish whip, you do it again and hit the referee again, and you do it 4 times or something, and then the referee disqualifies them. And you win.
Really?
Like, which is quite weird. And another one is if you do, and again, I don't know if the AI has been fixed here, but early on, people realised that if the match had no countouts, and so it was a pinfall or something or whatever, and no countouts, you could go outside the ring, take them up to the top right and go over the barricade because there's a wee section up in the top right where you can fight, and the AI never throws you back over the barricade.
Okay.
So you're basically trapped in there until you get their energy down to nothing. So they can batter the utter shite out you and absolutely kill your energy, and they still can't beat you because they refuse to take you back. So as long as there's no countouts and no pinfalls outside the ring, you're stuck in there until you finish them out.
That's exactly
and then you come back into the ring and try and finish them. So you build up all your finishers.
It was also
go
like
back into the ring and try and get them.
After that, I did the CM Punk 2010 grind, which took fucking hours as well. Because you had to play like 20 War Games matches, and then thankfully I got a string of matches which were table matches, which are completely broken because you can just do the manual powerbomb position, throw them over, and then that's it, done. Yeah. To the point where when I would come back to the menu, they're like, "Hey there, partner, that last match was a bit fast. You have to wait and find another opponent." It's like, what do you mean find an opponent? I'm fucking playing the AI, you daft cunt.
The most infuriating thing in that is when you lose one. So see the ones where it's like they start with 3 finishers.
Yeah.
And then they're like legendary difficulty, and you start the match and they literally do their super finisher instantly and you're dead right away. And then you go back to the main menu and you're like, all right, well, would you try that again? Like, hey, not so fast, buddy. Like you're too good. I'm like, mate, I just got absolutely hurt. Like, can you just let me? There should just be like a pause, restart. But they're like, no, friend.
It's so bloody frustrating. But I eventually did the whole CM Punk grind. It was made easier by the fact that if you have the DLC, you get free cards that are much better than the cards that were available when they set those challenges. So as long as you didn't need a specific tier, like some of them needed Sapphire, but a lot of them I was using a pink diamond Sid Vicious, and absolutely battering the shit out of people. But the War Games matches, they just take so long, especially doing them in sequence. Like, I had the guy who I was going to pin dead before the first entrant came in, so it was just a case of waiting for the match beyond to start pin immediately done. Like, there was no kind of artistry to it, but I got that done. And this led me to playing a lot more WWE 2K25 in the way I want, where I set up kind of little mini feuds. I'm currently doing a series of matches between the Great Muta and Bret Hart in WCW. First match finished with a green mist to the face, and this was very controversial. It was a title match where the title was vacant. Ended with a green mist. We still don't have a champion. We go to a 2 out of 3 falls match where Brett gets the first fall, green mist again. That's the second fall, and then Brett overcomes the odds to get the third fall. So I've been doing a lot of that shite. It feels like playing with wrestling figures. That's great.
There was something, speaking of the wrestling. I was, the wrestling's coming to Glasgow next week, and I was looking through. Because I was like, I'm taking my nephew and we were talking about ones we'd been to before, and I was like, I can only remember certain matches. Yeah. Because like I went to it when I was a kid, and there was only certain matches stick in my head. I'm like, I wonder what the rest of the card was in those things, because I bet there was guys I saw, and I bet there's matches I saw that I've got no memory of that people would like kill to see those matches these days. So I found there's a site, wrestlingdata.com, nice. Which basically has every card for every show like in history. They've got something like they've currently got 668,000 wrestling events in their database. So I'm able to go through every time the WWE has ever been at the SECC, which is nice. Where it was, and I can tell by that who like what the cards were when I went to see it. So the first one I remember, the main event, the first time I ever went to see it was the Legion of Doom versus the Nasty Boys.
Oh, Jesus.
So from that I've managed to find that night. So if this was, we had this for a card, right?
Right, go for it.
The 17th of April 1992. So this would have been a birthday present for me at the SECC. I would have been 9. This is my 9th birthday, and I went to see the first opening match. Owen Hart defeated Skinner.
Oh, right? Skinner.
Intercontinental title match. Bret Hart beats Shawn Michaels by count out. So hell. I saw Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels and have no memory of it. By count out.
Shawn's like that. I'm not taking the pin. I don't care if it's that show.
I've got a vague memory of Shawn Michaels essentially going, fuck this, and just walking and because he was the heel. Sergeant Slaughter defeated Colonel Mustafa. So this is in the middle of the Gulf War angle. So he just turned back. A world heavyweight title match. Randy Savage, the champion, defeated the Mountie in a title match. El Matador beat Dino Bravo. That was the beverage match for everyone when they get a drink. Papa Shango beat Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And then the Legion of Doom beat the Nasty Boys. What a card that is.
That's insane. I'm currently trying to look up my first card, but it's like that's when they used to do 300 dates a year, and you saw every day when you went to the house shows.
Mm-hmm. I was looking at other ones, like I don't know, we're born non-wrestling fans by listening to all these, but
they're not listening. They forget to fuck.
There's another one I remember where Shawn Michaels fought Bob Backlund, in an Intercontinental title match, and I got really annoyed because Shawn Michaels was the champion and the heel, but Bob Backlund was just an absolute nothing. So all the kids were going, Shawn, Shawn, Shawn. And I was like, he's the baddie. Don't cheer him. That was a shite. But that also had Doink the Clown defeating Crush, which was nice. But yeah, good times. But here's the one that really annoyed me, right? This is the card that really annoyed me. Because the only memory I have of this night was that Men on a Mission were there.
We Mabel are the men on a mission. R.I.P. Mo.
And I only remember because Mo was enormous, and so as a child, this was in '94. As an 11-year-old, I was like, I've never seen a man that size, and I doubt I ever will. But on the same night, right, Quang beat the 1-2-3 Kid by count out. That's how you open a show. IRS beat Doink. Diesel beat Tatanka. Earthquake beat Bam Bam Bigelow, a clash of the giants there. Jeff Jarrett beat Coco Beware. Men on a Mission beat the Quebecers. And the main event was a WWF World Heavyweight title match between Bret Hart and Owen Hart.
Man.
That's how you end a bloody show.
Yeah, that's mental.
Bret Hart beat him, obviously, killed him. But, what a night.
Oh, what was the thing that Owen Hart said in that promo about 99 times? It was like, oh, you're so selfish, man. You're just too damn selfish. Yeah. Kicked his leg out of his leg. You're
just so selfish.
The first house show I went to, I believe, was March 2004. The card was Orlando Jordan beat Chuck Palumbo. The world's greatest tag team, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, defeated Billy Gunn and Hardcore Holly. Billy Kidman defeated Bradshaw. Jamie Noble defeated Nydia, which is different times. Fit Finlay defeated Jamie Noble. A young John Cena defeated Rhino. Chavo Guerrero defeated Nunzio and Rey Mysterio. And Eddie Guerrero defeated the Big Show for the WWE title. Now, I definitely saw Brock wrestle in Glasgow, but I'm really struggling to find the house show that it was on. To me, it was like Brock Lesnar and Eddie versus like Benoit and Angle, but that sounds fucking mental for a house show. So I'm trying to find it, but it's coming up. I went to a random one in Edinburgh as well. I think it was Raw, and we sat like front row for that because my aunt worked for whatever the equivalent of Ticket Scotland was at the time, and Batista was the champ, so he came around and slapped everyone's hand. He connected with like a perfect handshake with me, and I honestly thought my hand was broken because his hands looked fucking shovels. It was ridiculous the size of his hands. But I used to absolutely love house shows. Like they're great fun. I think they're brilliant for kids. Like the kids don't really care. When I was younger, I just assumed that all house shows were also on the telly, so it doesn't really matter to me. Obviously, now that we're older and we've had the taste of the biscuit, we want Raw. We want the fact that we got to go to a pay-per-view in Glasgow is mental. Like that seemed impossible to me. And I've always said, I mean, it's never going to happen because it's going to be Riyadh until we're dead. But if they were ever to do WrestleMania UK, I don't care what it is, I would need to be there.
100%.
But yeah, I think there's something good to house shows that people are. It's fun. You see wrestlers have a laugh because they don't need to absolutely kill themselves because no one's going to see it.
I prefer a house show because nowadays you'll get a couple of promos as well, which I always like. But the few times I've seen Raw, because obviously they did Raw in Glasgow once, and I went to that. When I lived in London, I went to a couple of Raws in London and one Birmingham as well, I think. And they're frustrating watches, especially for kids, because you get short matches and then they have to sit during the ad breaks sometimes and like watch a million promos and you're watching the big screen half the time. And it's like you get it because they're making a TV show and they care more about the TV audience than the live audience, whereas the house show is the live audience is the important one. The only other one I found, I've been searching for this one for ages and I finally found it when WWF came to Glasgow in 2002. So this is like Attitude Era.
Is this the Road to Insurrection one that I've just looked at as well?
Potentially. The one that opens with Rob Van Dam beating X-Pac.
Yeah, that's
what an opener. And then, but again, this is another one where I don't remember. The only thing I remember about it, and the only reason I remember it, is because Jazz fought at it. And somebody shouted something disparaging to Jazz and she went mental and started shouting at the guy in the crowd, and that's the only thing I remember from it. And when I look at the card, I'm quite angry because Brock Lesnar beat Matt Hardy during it and stuff like that, and I don't remember any of that. I just remember Jazz getting annoyed at a boy in the crowd. I'm frustrated that my memory missed 6 hardcore title changes on the same night.
That's why I'm surprised they didn't.
I missed it.
That's why I'm surprised they didn't retain that 24/7 title, because that's made for house shows to do some shenanigans with, but they just weren't arsed with it. The people are calling out for more wrestling coverage. We will talk. We're proud to announce that as part of Riyadh season, we will be talking about the Royal Rumble in a couple of weeks. But when is that? It's like the 20th of January or something like that. So we will watch that and go. Shocking, and then Chris Jericho will come back and we'll go, yeah. I was going to say, do they bring Jericho out at Raw on Monday, or do they save him? Save him Page. So I think that Jericho is the type that would want to swerve the Marks brother and not do the Royal Rumble, but I also think people are at the point now where he would also expect them to swerve the Marks, so he might just do the Royal Rumble. And also, because it's the Royal Rumble, like my fantasy booking would be, you do the normal countdown for all of them, then it gets to 29, and when people are expecting the 10, it's the and they do the Jericho 10, 9, 8, and people like get fucking crazy about it like that. Because he's looking very lean. I saw a picture of him the other day, and he's shed a lot of the timber that he'd been. Just don't bring that fucking Painmaker gimmick to the WWE. Have a bit of fucking respect for yourself, mate.
Bring back the list.
Yeah,
bring back the list.
Do the. I think it'd be funny if his retirement tour is him having like this existential crisis of going through all these different gimmicks to try and see what works again. Like he does the like the big long verbose promos. He does Lionheart. Like he does all that stuff. I mean, obviously, if they re-release it, you'll be the first person to buy a Jericho wannabe shirt.
I'll be there day one. Whatever shirt he brings out, I'll be getting it. I can tell you, although by all accounts he's a bit of an arse. Yeah. Jericho was my guy, much like CM Punk was your guy. Jericho was my guy. He's just since he moved to the other company, I kind of lost track. Yeah,
he's done some cool stuff over there. Like he seems like but they don't need him anymore. He was great for establishing AEW, but they don't need him anymore. I saw some clips
of their stuff. The bubbly bit that was quite funny, and shamelessly ripping off Spinal Tap at one point. But other than that, it's like
he's a great performer.
He deserves a final wee run in this Hall of Fame, and then he can go away.
Definitely, and he get him in the WWE so they can get him back in the fucking games. This is the main thing for me. Like
definitely.
And I need them to get him back in the game. I need them to sign Sting to a Legends deal to get him back in the game. Like I know AEW contracts exist, but I would like AEW a hell of a lot more if they just had this loophole where they're like, yeah, you can be in the WWE games, it's fine, let's just get everyone in there.
Get Edge in it.
Yeah, Adam Edge Cope, the Cope Master General. Thank you all for listening to this very loosely associated with video games podcast. Although we talked about games in the second half, it's also the 2nd of January. What news do you expect? The games industry won't start up until next week.
There's literally nothing going on.
Yeah,
not literally. There is news. It's not back to work yet.
It's just not quality enough for this broadcast. No. Next week we will do our yes or no for the rest of the year, and we will read out the results of last year's yes or no. Once Andy is sobered up, once he's got out of the jailhouse that he's currently in. This weekend, Chris. Let's just
say it just now on a Friday afternoon that Celtic lost to Rangers on Saturday. Let's just go with it, because I genuinely, it is the first time in my life I'm going to an Old Firm game. Sorry, I'm going to a Glasgow derby. I'm showing my age there. Remembered what it used to be. And not expecting a win. Like people always say, you never know what could happen in these matches. And I bet when the other mob came to us, even after they died, they thought every match they thought this might be the one where we get to turn it around. I don't see that on Saturday. I just don't see it.
If we don't get absolutely shooed, I'll be quite happy. I just hope that this is it, and that's the cherry on top. Done. We're only 3 points behind Hearts at the minute. It's still salvageable. The fact that we're still trying to salvage this league. If we still had Martin O'Neill, we'd be about fucking 10 clear at the moment. But let's not think about it. In the past 25 years, we've won like fucking 21 league titles. It's fine.
That's the thing. These things never last.
If Rangers hadn't won in the Steven Gerrard era, we'd be going for 15 in a row. Like we need to keep the heat somewhat.
That's the thing. The context. I was like, I keep saying I'm old enough to have lived through Rangers winning 9 in a row. So, I appreciate the run we've had, and I appreciate these things just don't last forever. That's just the way it is. Yeah. I'm just frustrated at the way it's going because we're losing it in such a stupid way and in such an ignorant way that they're not seeing the blatantly obvious issues that are at the club and not bothering to address them, and that's frustrating. We're not being outplayed. Like, we're being outplayed on the park, but it's our own fault, and that's the frustrating thing. Like, clubs aren't coming up to match us; we're coming down. Like, and it's self-inflicted, and that's the annoying thing. It doesn't matter.
On that bombshell,
get a wee CM Punk jumper.
Get a wee CM Punk. Go and watch a compilation of Shinsuke Nakamura goals. You'll be fine. Until next time, say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
Patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. We'll see you next week.